Good morning, everybody. It's the Illiana Farmer. Today, I couldn't really tell you what we got going on today. I just got back from a little small vacation and got to the farm. There's stuff everywhere. So right now, the planter is pretty gross and filthy from double crop beans. So I'm going to go try to get all the dirt off of it that I can while the dirt's dry, because it's a lot easier to do that than when it's wet and muddy and then you spray it in there and it blows back on your face, and then you blow it from there to there to there to there, and then you go back and back and back and back. So that's what I'm going to do first off. Today's just going to kind of be whatever we do today. So I'll think of a title for it and you guys will see that. So all right, so we've got our planter backed in the shed here at the edge of the shed, and what we're doing now is we're going through all these rows, every row unit, and we're taking the meters apart. We're getting all the beans out of the meters, and what this will do is when we power wash this, a soybean will swell up in size, and if you didn't clean this out, it would be a mess. And then we've got the hoppers are open, and we've already drained the big bulk fill seed bins, so there's just a little bit. I'll get up in there and blow that out soon, but I'll show you what it takes to rip one of these apart and get all the beans out, and then that's kind of how we're going to store this planter for the winter. First thing we'll do is get these seed tubes off. You got one for a vacuum, you've got one for bulk fill that runs the seed into this, and then one sucks the seed to the plate, and that's what allows you to plant a really even stand of corn or beans. So now that that's off, there's a little switch here, a little lock. Pop that off and show you what we're getting out of here, because there's beans in there. So if I come through here and power wash this and all that fills up with water, that's going to be like a brick. It'll be completely solid. They'll swell together and it'll be a mess to go and clean out. So I've done these two, so we'll try to get this one out. You kind of lift this one up. This is going to be a little bit difficult, but bear with me. That one's the easy one. There's a trick to everything when it comes to farming, it seems like, you know, just the way you go about doing something. So I've kind of found that this row unit here, it will it moves up and down so you can get it up and out of here, but if you kick it to the side, it'll give you a little bit of room. But there's a pin here on our rope, on our clutch. Of course, drop that to the ground. set it there so we don't lose it. Okay, so now we have to get this clutch off of that little bitty metal piece with the hole in it, the shaft of the row unit of the meter. This is the piece that has all the electronics in it. Tells you when you've gone over pieces of ground you've already planted, it'll kill this meter and it'll quit spinning and it'll just drive over it. And then when it tells you that you've got bare ground that you haven't planted yet, it kicks back in and lets this spin up and around really fast. So I don't know, I'm gonna try to get this for you guys here. Easier said than done sometimes. Okay. It might fall, but okay. We've got our clutch off, and just to show you guys a little bit more, inside that clutch there's all these little bitty rivets kind of dug in and grooved into this shaft, and you got to get each one of them to slide on this thing in a space you can barely get your hand in and wiggle it around. So that's kind of difficult, but that one was easy, luckily for you guys, so I didn't look like a novice out here. Where the row unit was, we just pull it out, come over here, set our row unit down, and it's got little locking tabs, all the way around it. It's got a little meter, or a little lip up here, so we'll just kind of lift up. So close. Okay, push that off. We'll blow all this off and blow this out here in just a second. Set that to the side. Okay, this right here is our bean plate, and all these little holes. The tube that sets on this side, the tube that goes in right here, and it sets on this side, pulls air through this meter, and I'll show you guys. It sets there full of beans. So if this thing's sitting there sucking air, it'll suck a bean to each one of these holes. So as you're going through the field, 5-6 mile an hour, however fast, some guys plant 10, but it's going to try to singulate and put a bean in every single one of these. And depending on how rough the ground is, you know, if this thing's sitting back here bouncing up and down, it might skip one or two or whatever, but for the most part, probably 98-99% of the time, it's going to do a really good job. But we'll put these bean plates here, and we'll store these in the wintertime. Some guys leave them in the row unit, but we don't leave our planter around the shop. We take it to a different barn, and we've heard that these can kind of, through freezing and thawing, they can kind of warp on you and get, because they're flexible. So we put them out and we keep them up here in the shed where it's a little bit more temperature controlled, so it's not as cold on them throughout the winter, and we've never had trouble, so that's why we do that. So now what we can do is come over here, and those beans that I showed you earlier that were in this little box, you can see down, you can see the bottom of the row unit now. This is where all the beans come in through this tube and fill up. So no more beans in there, that's what we're shooting for. Lock that back. Set this to the side, and this thing will spin. There's There's little brushes that keep those plates, these brushes right here, these little bristles keep them clean. So we'll get all these blowed out, get all the beans and dust out, and then leave the plate out for winter time, and throw this back on here, and then go re-put it in there and put the clutch on it. And I'll try to show you guys the whole process, so hang with me. Pull this off. You guys notice there's dirt in here all up around my eyes, so as soon as the air hose hits this stuff, it just flies right back. So I originally wore these bad boys out today. I don't wear them when I'm farming, but I thought if I was going to power wash this thing in the middle of August, I could kick my socks off. And I just hate getting my shoes completely soaked, and then you got to dry them out, and then they're kind of like crunchy and stiff for the next day or two after you put them on the boot dryer. So I thought I would be power washing today, so that's why I've got the Crocs. And these are just a 2-wheel drive model. They don't have the 4-wheel drive. My dog got hungry one time and she chewed the 4-wheel drive straight off of these, so I got to be careful where I go. I don't want to ever get stuck. Finally, getting after this planter. What we set out to do yesterday, we're getting to today. Somehow, that's how it works on the farm sometimes. So, we just got a foam cannon this past spring, and I'll show you guys how it works. It's pretty awesome. I don't know if you guys can see that, but a lot of dirt being broke down with this cleaner. It works really well. I'm gonna kind of do this planter, try to do half of it and then get the other half. That way my soap doesn't completely dry. We're done. Of course, when it dries, it probably won't look as good as it does right now, wet, but we have got a lot of that mud and silt, hydraulic oil that was matted on there, and then all the dirt dried to it. It looks pretty good. So we'll get the water shut off and call it a day. As you can see, it's not just perfect, but it's way, way, way better. I mean, that right there's got just a little bit of stuff still on it. The problem is with this is you start down there or down here and you squirt water in there and it blows water back onto this one, and it's back and forth all day long. So I think it looks pretty good though. I mean, for not brushing it or anything, it's got a good shine to it. So we'll be ready to work on her this coming winter. Looks good. All right, everybody. Planter is cleaned up. I am a mess. I'm gonna go home. It's time to get cleaned up. I think every bit of dirt from that planter went in my eyes. So this pretty well wraps up the video. If you guys enjoyed the video, give it a big thumbs up. That helps me out more than anything. It pushes my videos out to a larger audience to be viewed, which gets me more likes, more subscribers, things like that. So definitely, if you like them, give them a thumbs up. That helps me out a ton. Comment below if you guys want to see anything, want to talk about anything, do it right down here. And then subscribe. Definitely subscribe. Then you can catch up on all the footage. You never miss out. Ileana Farmer here, signing out.